All right. So this video is for SpatialOS. It's how I use game objects in a scene in order to set up my snapshot for my deployments and running the game. So first off, you'll be able to see that I have a bunch of debug lines everywhere. These are my spawn locations for certain objects. So this is so that I can set up like crates that spawn into the world. These right here are item spawners where I just set the ID, set if it has a color, and I have a bunch of these classes in the world. So like for the item spawner location, the snapshot menu finds all item spawners in the scene, gets the template gets the data that the scene configures into it, and then that gets added to the snapshot list right here. So if you want to look at my template, I just pass in its position and rotation, and then just generate the template name, pass in the extra data, encode it as needed, and then that gets passed back to here. So whenever I go to whenever I generate a snapshot, I don't think I do right now, but usually I check to see if I'm in the right scene for the snapshot generation. And then what this will do is it'll sort my my entities based off of what I need. Like I don't think it was from it was required. I don't think it's required now, but before the player spawner had to be the first ID, but I don't think that's no longer the case. But anyways, this is how I generate it and set the order. And then this, so I have the player spawner, NPC spawners, some trap and item spawners, crates, some resource nodes, interactive crafting stations, doors, quest stuff that I've been working on recently. So all these get, all of these generate based off of known data. So like if we want to look at like a quest trigger, so I have kind of like a volume. It's like the player walks into the area and it triggers, and this is how I can set it up with like the size of the volume and its position and everything, just using the editor. And so the reason, so I have it also set up between scenes because so this is my demo game world. It only has one scene, but for my real game world, I load in multiple scenes, and in those scenes is where I put the spawners. So when I generate it, it's actually a bit more complicated. I use my loading system and tell it to load, or part of the loading system, tell it to load the scenes and shift them over as they should be, and generate the entities from that scene, and then get rid of that scene and then load the next one. So yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, so this is some of my crop growing plot, little dirt plot where you could throw seeds and grow corn, wheat, whatever. So these are each an entity, and when they load in, they have something that tells the vegetation system to not put plants here, so the tree and bushes right here will disappear. Another item spawner over here. I don't really color code them well, but these are crafting locations for some tanning racks. This is a wood chopping station. 2 more item spawners. Let's see. 3 more crafting stations. Up here, and wood stuff. More. What were they? Oh, some coal, I think they get. Some iron stations right here. More iron resource nodes. I'll show. I have a quest giver right here. Right now they're just signs, but I made a little outline object right here. So the sign has the quest ID and that it's the starting step for it. So the quest giver. And then I have the same for a bunch of quest volumes, but I think I have to click on them. Okay, yeah. So right here is where the quest starts. So I just have the size of the volume, which is changeable. So whenever they enter the volume, it starts the first step, triggers only once, the quest ID, and then as they wander to other places and enter these volumes, it completes step quests. But yeah, I like this workflow for the snapshot generation because it works within the editor. It works within the scene. I can position it. I can use mono behavior setup as I need, depending on how I do it. It's all configurable. Let's see if I can find which ones these are. Anyway, so yeah, see, this one is just the iron ore, and if I wanted to change the one next to it, I just pick the drop down, regenerate the snapshot, and it's all good and ready to roll. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of coding setup. I'm not sure if this is something that can be built into a package or part of the GDK, but maybe some just setup hooks. Like all of these spawner locations are pretty standardized. I pretty much have a list of entities that I'm passing in, and then whatever the current entity ID is, so that I can reorder it. But if this was like an implement in an interface, it would be pretty easy to later find all of those with the same interface in the snapshot menu. So I can find the code again. One issue that I have with how it's standardized is that some of my locations spawn multiple entities, so I have to pass back what the new entity index is. So in this case, the arena, it not only spawns the arena template, but it also spawns some levers and gates. So it's like 4 or 5 entities. And I think it's the same with the gate itself. I think I spawned multiple. So yeah, if the gate has levers, it also creates other entities for the lever, so that it's an entity, so that the lever entities can act upon the gate. So yeah, I've had this set up for a while now. I initially had this working as part of the SDK, and then I since ported it over for the GDK, and just pretty easy to add new entities in the scene, or entity locations in the scene, and regenerate the snapshot. Anyway, so yeah, this is the snapshot generation I do for TwoKinds Online using SpatialOS, and I hope that it was a little helpful for anyone that's watched this, or at least interesting and insightful. So thank you, bye.